Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing, learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can race, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to week 9 of the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Alessandro Dalladone. Mark Tranter is bringing you these lovely images of Okayama, which is our host for this round of the championship. Alessandro, one of the big topics throughout this season, it's always going to be a big topic in this car, is the draft effect. And we've visited so many draft circuits that we've kind of got used to a certain form of racing. Today's going to be a little bit different. This Okayama circuit's a nice balance between the tight twisty corners, got a couple of straights as well, so it'll be quite distinctive compared to the other rounds we've seen this season.
Absolutely, Sam. This is a complete opposite track layout compared to the ones we've been used to see this season in the Radical, and in fact it's gonna be harder for drivers to make up spots, especially with just a few draft zones where you can get some time off the other competitors. It's gonna be a very tight qualifying, and I expect to be key tonight, because it's easy to keep up with the people, but it's extremely difficult unless you are ready to risk a lot to make a pass here.
Exactly, this hairpin that we're currently watching Aaron Barber go through, you can storm it up the inside, but you can see how comfortable this Radical is around that corner. It's banked, and you can carry a lot of speed in there around this part of the circuit. Again, you can go for the dive, but you need to be within firing range. Barber probably the favourite tonight. I think we have the championship points available to view, and with some of his championship rivals, Kane Halliburton and Kike Ming, the most notable. Absent tonight are those drivers. He's got a chance at closing the gap in this Friday night championship, and closing the gap as well in the official series championship as well. He needs to put it up on pole position though, in order to ensure he's got the best opportunity to do that. The drivers get 2 laps, and the second laps are being posted at the moment. He's in second place. Thurman now moves himself up into third, but there's still lots more drivers to come across the line. McHutchinson up there. Beauchamp moves up there. Reinhardt's up into third place, but no one getting particularly close at the moment to Barber. Maybe this man, Eric Hanoi, could be a rival. He is the 4th seed in this slightly lower strength of field Friday night split. He's got quite a bit to improve here. Hanoi will be looking for a top 10.
Absolutely, he's been working very hard during the week. I met him in a few races. He's usually up in early morning doing races, and it's been very, very interesting to discover the package we have here at Okayama in this radical, because I wasn't expecting to be this difficult to make a pass around this track. I was expecting, yes, to have to work a lot more than the other tracks we've been to this season, but you will see in the race how hard, especially when people have the same pace, is to make a pass.
Yeah, it can be real tricky. And this car develops quite a bit of turbulent air, so it's tricky to stay close in the corners. But yeah, that draft effect is very useful, particularly when you really start to generate some speed as well. As you get up to about 150 miles an hour, the draft really kicks in as our judge trying to kick himself up the order. But in fact, that's, well, it wasn't, well, I think it was an improvement actually, our judge, but he remains in 11th position right there. And as far as I can see, everyone has done the 2 laps. I'm not quite sure why he haven't transferred right over to the race already, but that is pretty much qualifying done, because the drivers can only set 2 lap times, so of course it's an 8-minute qualifying session, but because the drivers can only set 2 lap times, that is usually the limitation that the drivers face. Here is the championship points then, so this is purely for the Friday night meetings, that's the important thing, and it is currently Halliburton at the top, Ming in second place. Barber surprisingly has only got half as many points as Halliburton this season, despite the fact that Barber's won a couple of races already. But you know, if he wins tonight, that gap comes down by a third, and we'll still have 3 more meetings to go. Halliburton may not be able to attend all of those meetings, so he really needs a win tonight, or at least a second place for his championship hopes to stay alive, I think, does the Dutchman.
Absolutely. He has to get a very solid result, and he has definitely the pace to do so tonight, since many of his competitors up top in that championship standings for the broadcast race are not here in Japan. So Erin Baba looking strong to get at least a second place from Kikeming today, but obviously that mistakes at the start of the season, some are costing him big time, because it's very important to be consistent in this format that has been chosen from the community of the Radical, because obviously scoring big points every week gives you a lot of chances compared to just having 1 week where you get the full prize and first place rather than crashing out in others.
Yeah, particularly in the early start part of the season, it was kind of all or nothing for Barber. He's been able to get some more consistency recently, albeit he didn't have a good Road America round. He got taken out, I think, by John McCutcheon, but looking to set that right tonight, because he is on pole position by 0.2 of a second ahead of Mr. McCutcheon, so I'm sure those two would have repaired any squabbles they had previously. Then it's Michael Reinhardt lining up in 3rd place, and Ant Castles in 4th. Then it's Daniel Beauchamp, Make Thurman, Arsal Kerman in, I believe, his first ever race, Tommy Vittens, Arturus Kundelis, Paul Taylor, John Auerjudge, Ludwig Stahl in 12th place. Then it's Josh Cam, watch out for him, from 13th. Dylan Freckleton, Christian Macrelli, Dennis Kyrkopoulos, Eric Hanoi, Augustin Paris Agus, Johannes Hesterman, David Onazol, Andrew Dixon, Thiago Martinez, Marek Studnicka, and Claudio Greco. A few drivers who I think are usually in second split managing to get up into top split, so I really hope that they all have a good showing tonight and can really show what they can do on this broadcast. Maybe they're very happy to have us talking about them. We've just got Make Thurman. He is a fairly inexperienced driver on these Friday night evenings to get onto the grid, and he is now there. And so the lights are about to illuminate this Okayama circuit will start this half an hour race. Let's go out. But from the pole position, but it's a strong start from the Scottish gentleman Hutchinson up his inside. We're going to go side by side in this one, but it's Bubba who stays in the lead. He's off the circuit though, and he might even reach the wall from out there. He drops a loads of places, does the pole position man, and it's a dreadful start for him as we quickly get a replay. But it's McHutchinson leading, Reinhardt in second place, Castles and Thurman in third and fourth. Good start for Paul Taylor to go up a couple of places. Both Sharp almost get to hit from behind by Castles, I believe it was. But now we've got a crash, and that's going to go to the middle of the second. Cars flying up into the air. Fortunately, I think only 3 drivers have got significant damage from that impact, and it's a very chaotic start. I wasn't expecting that outside.
Oh yeah, very chaotic start, and really, really unfortunate for the guys involved coming to the backstretch. But what a mistake from Eric Baba. I think he did a mistake, a single mistake already this week in a race that was taking part in. As we have another almost collision between Odige and Frackleton at the airpin. It's very, very tight with the cold tires. Very, very difficult to keep the car on the track, as we have a driver around with Kyriakopoulos, the driver from Switzerland in the round.
She's so consistent as Kyriakopoulos moves his way up through the order as the race goes on, but that's not going to happen tonight. So McHutchinson with the first lap of the race pulling away from Reinhardt. Thurman's just falling into the clutches of Castles. Thurman is up 3 places from his start. He really did absolutely nail that first half of the lap, but maybe his lack of pace is showing now. So car number 15, as we see a replay of Arsar Kura, and in fact it was a spin for the car number 18 of Paul Taylor. Spun into him. Taylor's got a very good start as well. Taylor was actually up into 7th place on the line. It's quickly losing the car as Thurman gets overtaken there by Castles, who retakes that 3rd position, but he's lost some crucial time now to the top, so he needs to try to catch that back up.
Yes, indeed, it's gonna be very important not to fall out of the slipstream range, even though it's not really powerful around the Okayama circuit, but it definitely helps you to keep up with the drivers in front up until 6th and 7th, 10th. Then when you get into that range, it's very difficult to follow the driver. That's why around this track is very difficult to make a pass, because once you get to this straight and the back stretch on the other side of the circuit, you need to be very close to make a pass.
Always surprised how few moves we have at that first corner. In really any category of racing, it's a real premium to see an overtake there. Vast majority of it at the hairpin, the first hairpin that is, I think it's called hairpin actually. And then, the other hairpins are way more likely than that turn one. Despite the long straight, just very tricky to get it done in the brakes. As we see Aaron Bubba on the comeback trail, but he's left himself a lot of work to do. He's already 10 seconds off the race lead. And this is one of the longer races of the season. They're distance-based, and so the fact that this is a bit of a slower track means that this race will be a bit longer than normal, but he's got a lot of places to gain just to really maybe get a top 5, I think might be the best chance that he could get from here on in. Watching Ludwig Stahl up 2 places, Egno's up 6 places by the way, to 11. Josh Cam up 6 places himself. I did say watch out for it, the car number 7 with a disappointing qualifying phase. Back to Alex Ware seeding suggests he should.
It's very, very crucial to have a good qualifying, but at the same time, from the experience I had this week driving on this circuit with these guys, is you need to keep the car clean, out of trouble with the first 2-3 laps, where a lot of drivers tend to make mistakes there, maybe too eager on throttle with cold tires, or going a bit on the curbs and ending up on the gravel. It's very easy to make a mistake when the tires are not up to temperature, as now drivers are starting on the 4th lap and the times are starting to come down, with Michael Reinhardt 1:22.93 setting the fastest lap of the race, only 4 tenths out of McCutcheon.
at least in my experience, I usually set my fastest lap fairly in the early stage. That's Hanoi takes a very tight line, but that banking really does hook you around the corner. I mean, your fastest lap is very much dependent on when you get the toe, so often, for me at least, when I'm close to the quick guy still in the first few laps, I get a nice jump on them and set a nice lap. But I think for most drivers, it's usually kind of the middle part of the race, kind of that 5 to 10, I think, around here. That's where you go and set your fastest lap. But of course, the fuel keeps on coming down, and so it's really the first 3 laps will just slow, and then once you get the tyres up to temperature, you can really start setting some good laps. Just not extending that final corner too much. Also see a bit of a gravel pit extending onto the circuit there, but the drivers keeping it within confines. And this is quickly turning into a 2-horse race at the moment, because Castles looks very quick when he was stuck behind Thurman, but since he made that move, hasn't been able to pull away. He's now outside of the draft range of Michael Grindhouse in second place, who is getting ominously closer to John McCutcheon at the moment. McCutcheon knows any mistake, and the lead will be gone.
Yes, absolutely. I think Reinhardt might be having the same pace as McCutcheon. I don't know if he will be able to make a pass and go past him as Thurman makes a pass on Castles and moves back into 3rd position. Malik Thurman, fairly new to the series, but has been racing a lot this week. I found him in many races, as goes a bit into deep at the hairpin and loses just a little control of his radical. But also here, if you get a very good exit and the driver in front doesn't have the slip, you can make the pass, but you always have to risk it. But overall, the standards in this series are very, very good, and drivers respect each other, so you always can trust people around you.
Yeah, it is the most friendly league says. I do certainly recommend checking it out. I mean, the Radical SR8, as I always say every week, one of the best cars in iRacing's really had a renaissance recently. The last couple of years. Big thanks to, of course, certainly the leaders of the community, but really everyone involved in this car for getting it back to splits every time slot, 6 splits often for this strength of field race, compared to staying struggling to go official a couple of years ago. To show you the progress that has been made. Crypto is in 17th place. He is holding back Hestman. Up 7 places. He's actually car number 5. Are you familiar with Claudio at all, Alessandro? I assume you Italians know. I assume you know all the Italians.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm absolutely not familiar with Claudio. Unfortunately, I don't think I ever commentated only or either raced against him. But he is the only driver that didn't set a lap in qualifying, as Reinhardt makes a pass entering first corner and moves up into the lead of the race, setting also the fastest lap in the race with a 1:22.633.
Well, I did say earlier on how often you have overtakes at turn 1.
Speaking of Greco.
As Greco is dropping down now, so something's happened to him. Either turn 1 or the final corner. And it's bad news for him. He'd actually been able, well, I think he had been able to just lose a little bit of the pressure behind, but he dips well to the grass, I assume. It's the dirt. And maybe a tap with the wall there. No fast repairs in this race. If you get damage, that is it for you. Bubba still trying to come back then. This one is against Stahl, who was up in 10th place just a few laps ago. Stahl, but he's dropped back a little bit now. He's down to 13th. Bubba moves past. But yeah, Reinhardt making that move for the lead. Could that be decisive, Alison?
Yeah, I think it might be a state of intention from the German driver to jump in the lead and never leave it in the end, especially since it's very difficult to make a pass. And in the latter part of the race, also tires will be very, very important because the car will tend to slide even more. If you keep close attention to the drivers, you will see, especially in the last sector, drivers, as we have Paris going very wide and almost ending up in the same situation as Claudio Greco, the driver from Porsche Racing team, letting his teammate.
Change of position there. Also thanks to, we might see another change for later. Here comes McCutchinson up the inside, and he is passed. Well, these guys are not defending against one another, and it is good to show that overtaking is possible. Sure, it is a lot more tricky than we've seen at other rounds this season, but there seems to be no clear advantage between these two, and crucially, Thurman started to catch up to these guys. He was 0.4 of a second faster on that last lap, and I think on this lap he's already gained about 0.3 of a second, and when Castle's holding up both Shab, Vittens and Cam, this is very good at the moment for the car number 15, who I certainly didn't think had a chance at this race win. So Hutchinson all out of shape through the final corner, managed to just about stay ahead, run out needs an extra 10 meters or so onto that front stretch in order to get past. But again, the gap on that last lap going down by another 0.4 of a second between the leader and Thurman. So could see a battle between the top three unless the top two can start working together.
Yes, indeed, I was keeping an eye close to Thurman because being able to be so close to Castle before making the pass shows you that that driver has definitely plenty of speed, because it's very difficult to be 2-3 tenths behind someone with his dirty air through these very difficult sections. And indeed, he put up on fourth place, and his pace is very, very rapid. So if the two leaders don't work together, we might definitely see Thurman closing in. But you can see the pace of these drivers is so similar that it's gonna be very, very difficult unless they fight.
And of course, you can check out the lap times of all the drivers by clicking on the link to the live timing. There's a link in the description below. You click on that, and then it will open up a web page, and you can see the drivers' last lap times, which is really useful to see kind of who's got the pace up there. Also, fastest lap times as well. So Hutchinson sets that record, and looking very quick at the moment, trying to get past bits and quite finding a way past. It's Aldridge essentially joining onto the back of this train. On the topic of SDK Gaming, big thanks to them for helping us out on Apex Season 2, running our glorious overlay. It really is the absolute best overlay and best software for live timing in all of iRacing, as Cab does move past, has to work at it. It's quite a mistake out of it, and he's up into 6th place. But yeah, SDK Gaming, absolutely the best software for live timing. It's an overlay display, and there's telemetry software as well on all of iRacing. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to download the software. Cam, yeah, up into 6th place, and he could be an outside shot at a top 4 from here on in. Mr. Nika, meanwhile, game past a very much struggling Ludwig Stahl. After a strong start at the start, just been dropping back ever since.
It's very, very difficult to be consistent on this racetrack. So many difficult corners, and car behaving differently every lap, with the fuel coming down and the tires falling off, as Thurman set the new fastest lap of the race with 1:22.6 times, always dropping lower and lower every lap. But the gap between second and third place is still 1.6 of a second, so still looking very difficult for Mike Thurman to close on the counterman in second place, Michael Reinhardt. But still a very solid outing for the car number 15, since he hasn't been on any broadcast this season, Sam, right?
I think you're right, yeah. I don't think that's because of his iRacing, because he got number 15 for this race, so he should have been fairly comfortable, but dedicating so much time to Radical week in, week out, but hopefully we see more of them later on in the season. That is a fun thing about this Friday night split. We kind of get the best of both worlds. We can get the kind of narrative, we get to know the drivers like a league, but constantly got these other drivers who just pop in for the extra race, who can really mix it up with the top guys, makes this one of the most unpredictable races we broadcast on Apex Racing TV. Freckleton has had a problem. Nika number 19, and also stood Nika and Martinez now. So quite a bit has happened in that final sector. We'll try to get a replay up for you in just a moment about what's happened there. Hesterman moves up to 13th place past Paris as well. And I'm wondering if any of these three incidents for drivers had anything to do with one another.
I heard some very loud noises in driver chat. So I think someone was not really happy, and I think this is the reason why someone wasn't really happy, because that rejoin was, let's say, not really perfect by Freckleton, and took out, I think, Nika in the 12th car.
Yeah, safe to say if this was an Apex Racing League event, that would be a classic level 3, which is the harshest penalty that can be given out, because those V-joins, always the most simple incidents to avoid. You just don't press the accelerator pedal, and yet when they do occur, they are some of the most destructive for other drivers' races. So a big shame there, and as I said earlier on, no fast repairs in this series, and so that is a game over for those guys. Bubba currently sitting on 1 point. Might be 2 hits. He makes this move, which is just a matter of time. He's still got 4 seconds to catch up to Aldridge. Because once he gets to Aldridge, then everyone else is pretty much just in a line all the way up to the lead. But yeah, 11.5 seconds off the lead is Bubba. It's just about 2 seconds since lap 1. And of course, most of that can be contributed down to him having to move through the order. So he's had the pace, but let's say this championship is escaping his grasp. If it was ever really within touching distance, remember, he has got half as many points as Halliburton, but in pole position tonight, he did look like he might be able to cut into that loss. However, he has now got the opportunity to set the fastest lap of the race, which does warrant at 1 point if you finish in the top 10. So I guess that's what Barbara is going to have to go for from him.
Indeed, and obviously this is the broadcast race championship, but this is not even looking very different from the actual Radical iRacing official championship, because since Kane Halliburton hasn't raced much, he will for sure, when he's joining us in the next few weeks, gonna get big points, and not being able to get the full points in this round for sure is gonna give him some extra confidence when he comes back for the title of the official championship. So Kane Halliburton, even though he's not with us today, looking still very much the favorite for the title, even in the official championship.
Yeah, has just been well, he's finished on the podium every race that he's done. A bit like Lopez last season, I think was 11 from 12. Oh, that is a late move there from Cam. Beauchamp's going to be able to hold on to this one. This is going to lose him loads of time. He either can turn into the corner, and that's any hope then keeping up with Castle's gone now, because it's just going to be a straight battle between these guys. Cam has worked so hard just to get past Vincent earlier on in the race. He stayed behind him for about 3 or 4 laps. He doesn't want to have to wait as long this time round as well. And Paris getting back past Hesterman. It's a good move, but Hesterman tries to come back. You can see the train of 4 cars just behind as well. Dixon, Freckleton, he had that issue earlier on. Surprised Freckleton still running. And then Monazol and Kyrkopolis went on the opening lap of the race. So yeah, this one's forming into quite a big group.
Nice fight setting up for the last part of the race, as we have some smoke entering turn 2. I think Josh Cam just went off, and Beauchamp also is involved. We saw him go away from the crime scene at slow speed. We will have a replay very soon. Also, Dixon having trouble in towards the finish line. Let's catch the replay with Beauchamp going a bit wide on the grass. Yes, indeed. And Josh Cam has unfortunately nowhere to go, and very unlucky because he almost went around Beauchamp there, but he found himself pitched onto the gravel and having to do this very close rejoin.
And Cam with a heavy grabbing car moves Bubba also up into 7th place. Maybe. No, he won't catch up Aldridge, so Aldridge makes a mistake. Beauchamp actually not far behind Bubba. I mean, Beauchamp's so lucky that he kind of got tipped back in the right direction after all of that. So, yeah, should be counting his chickens, counting his eggs. I'm not sure. I don't think that's the appropriate phrase, to be fair. Cam is back into the pits. Unsurprisingly, that's game over for him because of the amount of damage he has got. Lead, though, has just closed up. That graph shows the varying gap. You can see how it's been fairly consistent. Every lap's ranging from about 1/4 of a second to 0.6 of a second. And it's back down quite low again. Reinhardt could go for a dive here if he wanted to. So we've got 2 more laps to go. They've been able to kind of resist the pressure from Thurman. They're now safely away, so they should be able to bounce more hard to the end of the race. Not fear car number 15. This one could have a very climactic end, hopefully. By the way, another shout out to another one of our sponsors for this series, Apex Racing Academy. We provide 29 data packs for rallycross cars, also road racing cars, which range from single seaters to prototypes, GTs, touring cars, absolutely loads of stuff. So do check out Apex Racing Academy if you're looking to increase your driving performance, because they provide group coaching sessions, solo coaching sessions, setups, and telemetry as well in order to identify improvements in your driving. So yeah, certainly do check out apexracingac.com. Hesseman all over the back of Paris, trying to get back that place, but it's not going to quite happen as Reinhardt once again trying to close in. He needs to be closer than that coming out of this corner, Alessandro, because 0.4 of a second at the start of this straight is still going to be too far back by the time we get on the bricks. Yeah,
you can see the gap closing, but still well far from Hutchinson. He needs to be within those 0.3, 2.5 to really make something happen, or just open a very rare Hutchinson mistake on the final lap. It's gonna be very interesting, but you can see how difficult this track is to find spaces to send the car safely, if you ever can do that. With these hairpins, it's definitely very difficult to find also the grip and a good exit speed to jump on the car in front. For once we have to worry about, instead of the draft being too powerful, as we are entering now the last lap of the race.
Oh, he's particularly close this time, isn't he? And you were saying how he needs to be within 0.3 of a second coming out of the long right-hander. Well, look at the gap at the moment. It's down to 0.4 of a second. Just needs to try to stay close. Can try to get out of the draft if possible around here. Oh, that's very good. This is probably going to be close down into the hairpins. These guys have already changed positions. This time they are going to go defensive. Look, Hutchinson covers the inside line. Reinhardt's happy to go to the outside. Neither of these two drivers have ever won a Friday night strength or field race. It looks as though one is going to win tonight, and it looks like it might be Hutchinson, because Reinhardt was unable to fashion much of an attempt into the hairpin. Still a couple more opportunities to come though, but they are running out thick and fast on this white flag lap. And the Scottish driver who started in second place, who took out the pole sitter and Bubba last time out at Road America. It was Bubba who took himself out on the first corner. Hutchinson was there to pick up the pieces. He rounds the final corner at Okayama, and for the first time on a Friday night race, it is John McHutchinson, who wins in the Radical Racing Challenge in a very well-deserved victory. That one has been coming for a while. Reinhardt just finishing short in second place, and it is McDermott who rounds out the podium. Stahl and Freckleton very close towards the end. There could be contact here between these two. It's a long run down to the line. Is there going to be a change right to the end? It was Freckleton who beat Paris, with Hesterman just behind. So Hesterman losing out to those drivers, and Dixon and Greco, the final two drivers to cross the line. I'm delighted to see McHutchinson win that race. Alessandro, we're always unbiased in the commentary box, but we do see a bit of a meritocracy. We like to see drivers who have worked hard in the past to finally get to the top. And to be fair, McHutchinson or Reinhardt would have been very worthy winners, because, you know, if it weren't for Barber and Halliburton and Lopez turning up most weeks, those guys would be winning half the races of the season. And it's finally good to see them have a chance at race one.
Absolutely, indeed, and we always said that if the big three are not showing up or making mistake, we always happy to see some drivers that have been joining us week in and week out every season in these great broadcast races, and thankfully today for John McHutchinson, the time has arrived, as we always keep saying, for Kikeming, another great driver of the series who unfortunately wasn't here today. We always hope that he will eventually also get a win, so we are happy that at least John for this time will be our race winner, a well-deserved winner from the Scottish men.
Yeah, there he is, quarter second clear of Michael Reinhardt. Hopefully we get an interview with John. I doubt we'll get an interview with Michael, but still, good to see Diach, I think it's Diach, isn't it? Region Jazz on the podium there. And Castle's finishing in 4th position. There's Tommy Vitzens, John Argich, Aaron Bubba recovering to 7th place, but he'll still be 3rd place in the championship overall. Daniel Beauchamp was in 8th. There's Eric Hanoi, Christian Macrelli, Ludwig Stahl, Dylan Fickleton, Augustin Paris, Johannes Hesterman, David Onazol, Dennis Kyrikopoulos, Andrew Dixon, Claudio Greco, Josh Cam, Thiago Martinez, Marek Studnicka, Arsal Kuram, Arturus Kundelis, and Paul Taylor. Some of those drivers finishing 18 laps down, retiring on the first lap of the race, with a couple of the shunts that we saw. So we have already got interviews, and I'm going to talk to a very happy Scottish man right now, because John McHutchinson, congratulations, you have won what I believe is your first ever Friday night strength of field race.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. That is, yep, absolutely delighted.
Was we'll go through it chronologically. The start looked really good. You were alongside Aaron. Going into turn 1, you bricked much earlier. Did you have a feeling like you may have overshot it straight away?
No, I'd like to say I did get a good start up beside him, but I was never going to try and take him in inside turn 1, lap 1. You know, that's just silly. So I don't know if Aaron got tagged or if he just lost it himself. I don't know what happened to him, but I was glad to see it.
And then we saw yourself and Michael change position quite a few times in like the first few laps of the race. You didn't seem to be defending from one another. I mean, what was kind of the logic behind that? Because we were kind of thinking track position would be key, and yet you guys, you didn't seem too desperate to hang on to it.
It was, track position was key because it was really tough to follow, and you don't get much of a draft to pass. When he passed me, I made a slight mistake, so that's why he got by me. But it was really close, hard racing.
Definitely, and then those closing stages, sweaty palms at all, shaky knees. I mean, how were you feeling?
I need another shower again, so that says it all. But Michael raced fair, hard and fair, so can't ask for more than that.
Absolutely, we saw you two going side by side into the hairpin on that last lap. I was a little bit surprised that Michael wasn't able to offer a bit more of a challenge, but if you covered the inside line at that hairpin, it looked like he just had the corner covered off. It seemed like it was impossible to go around the outside.
It was because at the hairpin, the front end was bottoming out, so you always get a little bit of understeer. So I imagine on the outside it'd be even worse. So I think maybe that's why you couldn't pass on the outside there. Because you're right, you would have the inside to the next turn, but you just couldn't make it for whatever reason.
Next up, we head to one of your home circuits, and I mean, we will have Not Kill on the calendar very soon, I'm sure. But for now, it's the closest circuit to your home circuit, Silverstone, which is coming up. What's your thoughts on that one?
I've never raced on the new circuit there in the Radical yet. It's always been the historic circuit. So looking forward to that. They usually go quite well there in the historic circuit, but the new circuit's totally different and a lot more technical, if you like. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, best of luck for that one, John. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for the great commentary. And I'd like to give a shout out to Henry Robert for doing the livery for my car. Thanks to Henry.
Awesome. We love to see that livery on the grid every week. Hope to see you back next week, John. See you then. Well done on the race win.
Thanks, Sam. Cheers.
John McCutchinson there. I feel a bit bad actually because Peter Mackay was commentating on this race last season, and he would be singing some of the proclaimers right now.
Indeed.
But maybe we'll have to do a rendition after the race ourselves, after the broadcast. Sandra, is there anyone else that you'd like to have a chat with?
Yes, sure. We will bring Ant Castle in just a second, but first, let me give a shout out to one of our other sponsors for this great broadcast. The only one we haven't mentioned yet, that being Virtual Racing School, where you can improve your on-track performance with 50 plus data packs, road, oval, dirt road or dirt oval, anything you might find on iRacing, it's there. So setup, track guides, data analysis software, one-on-one coaching. If you have also the Apex Racing Academy, you can find everything there in just a single place. So make sure to check them out. They're providing great content and absolutely also can get you a bit of help if you want to start in the Radical. And this is the perfect week to do it. But now let's have a quick chat also with Ant Castle, who started fourth and finished fourth. So he had a solid outing here at Okayama. Ant, how are you doing? Congratulations for fourth place.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hot, very hot. No, it's a good race. Well balanced all the way through.
Yeah, you had a nice battle, a nice scrap with Mike, who has been very fast all week long. From the races I also have been doing here, and you've been fighting really hard, and unfortunately you had a bit more pace and pulled away towards the end.
Yeah, I knew it was quicker. I just had the opportunity. I think it was lap 2 or lap 3. Had a bit of a run, so I thought I'd use it. I didn't really want to battle too hard because I know the guys behind were lining up to be there with us. So that was good fun.
And what's your take on these different circuits? We've been to many interesting tracks this season where draft was the king, but here dirty air seemed to be more than an issue because once you get close to someone about 3/4 tenths, it's very, very difficult to make a pass. You really struggle to get the run and come to the hairpin or first corner and make a pass.
Yeah, I enjoy these shorter tracks. It comes down to ability more than the toe. Unfortunately, yeah, some of the longer circuits don't really show ability too well. But no, this one's always been good fun. It's good to see it in the schedule.
Absolutely. And next we move to Silverstone, the new track, not the historic track we've been going to multiple times before. Have you already had a few laps there? Do you think the draft will be still very, very strong as we've seen in the previous week, or it will be in between the previous round and Okayama?
Yeah, I think the toe will feature again next week. It's a great circuit though, both old and new versions. So I'm looking forward to doing the new version for a change.
Absolutely, we are also very looking forward to it. And before we let you go, anyone you would like to thank?
Yeah, I just want to say hard luck to Josh. I see him fighting back there with Daniel. I was hoping he was going to take the time back a little bit, but I think they had it coming together. So pick yourself up and go again, Josh.
Absolutely. Very, very unfortunate. He has plenty of speed and he's definitely showing week in and week out. So he will for sure very soon get a very nice result and hopefully a podium soon. So keep the good work, guys, and see you next week.
Thank you. Take it easy.
That was Ant Castle finishing in 4th place. I think Sam, we don't have anyone else to chat with, but next week, as we were saying, Silverstone, it's gonna definitely be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be a good one, so because we, of course, the judges have been talking about how we visited the historic circuit. That was the first ever race we actually broadcast of this series last season, and it was a bit of a dull one, honestly. I mean, compared to the really terrific races that we've broadcast ever since, that one was kind of just a lead pack of 4, and they just followed each other home. Really, overtaking was very tricky to do around that circuit. I think around this new circuit with the Wellington Straights, it should be quite a bit easier this time round, and yeah, I think there should be a few more opportunities for the drivers to make some moves. So yeah, it certainly should be a good one to watch there. Yeah, that pretty much wraps us off then for this evening of racing. Of course, if you've enjoyed this video, do please leave a like on the video, and also subscribe as well to Apex Racing TV. Check us out on Twitch, because if you prefer that platform to watch our broadcast, then we pretty much broadcast everything we do on YouTube on Twitch, so you may as well watch over there, and we'll still try to engage with any of your comments that you send in. And also check out our social media as well, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because we post little highlights of each of our races, about notable things that happen in our events, particularly entertaining parts, whether that's big crashes, great overtakes, close finishes, anything like that. We like to publicize it, so yeah, do check out all our social media platforms. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Alessandro Dalladone, and from Mark Trenta, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next week at Silverstone. See you then.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala,
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke,
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong,
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.